Greetings, Christ Fellowship. We are in a new season of church life. We have exited our afternoon gathering. We are finally back at the school. And we do have a couple bumps ahead of us schedule-wise. The county is not going to let us gather at the school on the Sunday before and after spring break, specifically April 3rd and April 10th. Now, April 3rd, we're actually going to be able to make a wonderful opportunity here, a church picnic at the facility immediately behind the school. So same time, almost the same location, probably even the same parking lot, but you can just go around behind the school. There's a playground that's part of Roswell Area Park, and we will gather there and probably gonna have pancakes, have an egg hunt. It'll be a great time to gather as a church. It'll just feel different than our normal Sunday worship gathering. Now on April 10th, and I'm going to say a few words about this in a second, but we have a gift for you, and this is a unique opportunity, but I think that it speaks to some of the challenges that we have had in this season. Throughout the pandemic, we have had to change locations and change times. That's brought a lot of frustrations with it, and that's probably a good indicator of what's happened in your own life. All the changes and all the difficulties of this past season. And what we probably have not done to do is slow down and consider, to be still and trust that God is actually ruling and reigning in the midst of this. Now, somebody said to me recently, God will not give you more than you can bear. And that's a nice phrase. And it actually comes from Scripture. It's a biblical truth, but we typically think of it in a wrong fashion. We typically think of it in the scope of a linear line, and that my pressures will continue to build up so large until they reach the absolute climax of what I can bear, and then there God meets me at the limit of what I can possibly handle. And I think that's the opposite of what the gospel is saying. So from 1 Corinthians chapter 10, I'll read this. No temptation has overtaken you that is not common to man. God is faithful, and he will not let you be tempted beyond your ability. But with the temptation, he will provide the way of escape that you may be able to endure it. This isn't talking about just a linear line in which God leads you to the edge of the cliff before you finally almost fall off, and if you trust in him, he'll catch you. It's saying if you're at the top of the cliff, if you're at the bottom, if you're in the forest, if you're in the city, it's in all the places that we live, work, and play that God is our sufficiency. The context of the passage in 1 Corinthians, Paul is teeing us up to understand the meaning of the Lord's Supper, on how the grace of God is a wholesale endeavor over every part of our life. And over the past 2 years, it gets easy to forget that. It gets easy to bury our frustrations and our anxieties in smartphones and in Netflix miniseries and all these different things. So we want to give you a gift of a silent retreat on Palm Sunday. Now, this will be a directed silent retreat. Obviously, you can do with it whatever you want. You can take an hour, 2 hours, 4 hours. But we're going to build it as a PDF, and you'll have spaces like this. This will be one of our multiple locations that we're going to suggest to you, a place that you could go and be still. A place where you can go, leave your smartphone, leave your smartwatch, tell the important connections in your life where you're going to be, and let them know, I'm going off the grid for this amount of time. Luke chapter 22, Jesus says, here's my assignment, that you would eat and drink at my table. You would dine with me. That's the sacrament. Letting his mercies meet you in the spaces that sometimes feel overwhelming. That's the context of the passage here. There's no temptation that you are in right now, temptation to distrust him, that is so great that he couldn't meet you. So we want to give you this gift of a silent retreat. Take this opportunity, schedule the silence, schedule a retreat with Christ. Take this material and let him shepherd you in this time. Christ Fellowship, I look forward to participating in this with you. You are loved.